thought it'd be really nice to start my vlog down here. The sun is so bright because it's so beautiful, but actually the trees are so low that I spend most of my time ducking and diving and doing that. So maybe not the best place to start. I'm actually on Mr. Coupe. Look at lovely Mr. Coupe. He loves going down this old railway line. Though he's not really picking his feet up this morning. He's definitely showing his age. He's always been a bit slow with his hind feet, but definitely just scuffing them along. I have got all my work later on this morning and then the rest of the afternoon, so it doesn't actually suit me very well having like a bit of chill time first thing, because I don't get on and go. I sort of end up sort of ambling around, and then I don't really want to go to work. That's how it feels. I kind of think, oh, I'm quite happy at home now, quite happily doodling around doing jobs there. I don't really want to go to work. So it's much better if I just get up and get on with it, but this is how we've got to roll sometimes. And it does mean that I can go for a lovely hike on Mr. Coupe, so no complaints really. I am feeling a smidge meh. You know, we all have those days, few days when you just feel a bit lighter. I feel that horse I mentioned a while ago about possibly competing, and I knew this at the start. This is not anything new, and no one's done anything wrong really, but it's so like going along, like 1 minute you think you're doing it, then you get told no, it probably isn't going to happen, then you get told it is happening. Like a couple of weeks ago they said start looking for some shows, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening, you know, worried about how I was going to afford it, but I was like, that's by the by, we'll figure that one out later. And then like yesterday it seemed to have all changed again, and I don't really like having the carrot dangled in front of me and then whipped away, and then dangled in front of me and then whipped away. I'm too old for that kind of fun and games, and they're not doing it on purpose. I just think they don't know what to do either. But I kind of would like a decision, because ideally I'd like to start looking for shows and register and so on. And my other concern is if I register and I start doing some shows and then they change their mind again and decide they want the horse to go off and do some pure show jumping or something like that, then I've just spent all that money on registering only to get a couple of shows, and then that's it, over and done with. So I don't want that to happen either. You know, I'd like to aim for something like a regionals, and if that might not happen, then I'd rather not go down this road and spend hundreds of pounds. And it's just hard, and then it brings you into that kind of cycle of thinking about everything else, doesn't it? You know, I feel sad that I don't compete anymore, and I'm really grateful that I've got my horses and I love them dearly. And Coupe deserves a very special retirement, and Sienna is hilarious. She's highly entertaining. So yes, she might not be able to do stuff, but she's at least funny. I feel like I can hear people coming, but then I kind of think, well, am I still in this job? You know, I should be able to afford a horse that's moving soundly and be able to compete, and that's because I haven't chosen a great job. And oh God, you can see where I've gone with all this. I'm like, this is too exhausting to go down this very long rabbit hole. So I need to just snap out of it, quite frankly. So welcome to today's pole exercise. This could be done in walk and trot, and I'm going to call it the shallow S. You could add more poles if you fancied it. That was just as many as I could be bothered to put out. This gorgeous boy is beautiful, but he does struggle with suppleness, and he can also get quite strong in the contact. He tends to like to kind of draw you in and then have like a little argument with you. So you have to really try and leave the front end alone. He also can get quite short and tight in his neck. So my aim was to really try and keep him in a very open frame, very soft, plenty of swing in the back, and for him to carry himself. He needs to carry himself. I'm not doing it for him. This pole exercise really highlights how supple your horse is, or not in this case, because you really want to feel that change of bend as you're going through this exercise. And as you can see, we didn't really change bend. We just ended up going kind of straight through it. I was really surprised how much harder it rode than I was imagining. I just couldn't get the change of bend as I was going through the poles. So you could break it up a little bit and do like a circle around the first 2 poles and then do a circle around the next 3 poles and just make it a little bit easier that way. You can obviously do transitions going through the poles as well, not over them, like in between them. Pole work is always going to be great for your horses. It is going to be brilliant for their agility, their suppleness. It's great for their core strength. And this one really makes you think as a rider. I will say I would have liked him to have stayed in a slightly lower head and neck frame. He just kept coming slightly above the bit as he was getting to the poles. He was a little bit excited. But I did find this exercise creates such brilliant suspension in their movement. They really start to engage. I felt with him that he really lifted up through the withers, and I had that lovely feeling of roundness over the back, which was creating this beautiful swing and softness through his body. And he did really keep his neck and head in front of him, actually, which was very nice. I'd say it got a little bit better towards the end, but it's definitely work in progress. But the little bit of trot and canter work I did at the end, I absolutely loved. This was such a lovely, soft, light frame from him. And honestly, this horse can get very tight very easily. And I literally could just sit there and really feel his movement underneath me. And his neck and head was in such a great position up and out in front of me. I was really chuffed, and I think that was down to this pole exercise and that changing of bend and really engaging his hindquarters. Oh, it worked a treat. So these are some other options you could do. Sorry about my bad diagrams. You could go over the first 2 poles, do a little circle to the right, then go over the next 3 poles, do a little circle to the left. Brilliant for their suppleness, their flexibility, getting that bend round your inside leg. You could also add more poles, so you could kind of end up doing an S-shaped, but like then a figure of 8. Does that make sense? This is the kind of curving line I was looking for. I wasn't getting it, but that was what I was aiming for. Good morning, guys. It's the weekend. Coupe is, it's very light on the yard. That's haylage on the floor. He's absolutely loving his haylage at the moment, which is lovely, because I think he's put on weight because he's eaten haylage. I don't know why I'm back in the tack room. Good afternoon, guys. I'm filling some time before I go teaching, which is in about 20 minutes. It's absolutely flippin' freezing today. My weather app says it feels like 10 degrees, and oh my goodness, it really does feel like 10 degrees. Which is why I'm wearing a coat and a hat in the house. And we know that we're not going to be turning any heating on until at least November, preferably the end of November if possible. Anyway, editing this vlog, and I realised that I did a clip in slow motion, which is always quite frustrating, and I don't seem to be able to adjust it. Normally I can, but I can't on this bit. I don't think I was saying anything very interesting. It was when I was in the yard this morning, so you'll see I've added a short clip of it in where I'm talking normally, and then I've had to just cut it. So I thought I'd just explain why that clip is a little bit on the short side. I am feeling, I'm gutted. So if you guys followed my channel for a while, you'll know that I went gluten-free this year, which made quite a big difference. But I love baking, and I really miss baking with normal flour. Gluten-free flour and baking cakes it's quite hard work, and they just don't taste the same. I've yet to be able to find a recipe where I can make cake that tastes the same. So I thought, do you know, what if, because I'm not celiac, so I thought maybe I can just have gluten, but in like real moderation, being very careful. So I made some chocolate cupcakes the other day, which tasted epic. And it was just nice to bake with normal flour. But I'm just not feeling 100%, and I just think it's probably the gluten. And that's sad, makes me very sad. So now is to figure out how much I can probably eat without making myself feel a bit bleh. It's a shame, because these cupcakes were really good, and I just missed the taste of normal cake. But hey ho, that's life. I think it's a thing as you get older, isn't it? Like when you're a kid, you can eat everything and anything, and in large quantities, and you seem to be absolutely fine. And then as you get older, you just spend your life questioning, like, what have I eaten today which has made me feel really bloated? Or what have I eaten today which has made me feel really like flat? Or your body seems to start kind of rejecting food. It's so annoying. I'm terrified. I'm thinking now it's probably like, you eat too much sugar. I'm going to start rejecting anything with sugar in it. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fairly sure gluten is the problem, because as I said, this year I felt so much better for not eating gluten. So you might just have to go back to it. Thank God that gluten-free brownies taste like normal brownies. That is my saving grace. If I need something sort of cake-like, I have to go for a brownie. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, so I'm only talking rubbish. And I will leave to the very last part of this vlog. We are out in the fields. Look at that. Oh, can see the deer at the furthest point. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'd like to know why horsey brands choose fabric for their coats and jackets that grease and dust and dirt sticks to. This coat it's from a mountain horse. Look how dusty it is. It's virtually it was only washed like a couple of days ago, and the dust just glues itself. It's like a magnet. And I think, surely they've tested that before thinking, right, this is the fabric to use. Because if they did a poor job. It really puts me off wanting to wear it because then I just look dirty the whole time. Anyway, end of the week. How's another week gone by? I can't believe when this vlog goes out, it'll be October. That's a scary thought. Coupe is definitely putting his winter woolies on and thinking, oh, I have to get the clippers out. I hate clipping. Absolutely despise clipping. I'm rubbish at it as well. I've never improved over the years, even though I've got my own clippers, clipped my horses. I've never improved. It's not a job I particularly like, but I don't like his coat to get too thick, so I think it is going to have to come off sooner rather than later. And yeah, what else was I going to say? It wasn't the best schooling exercise. It's a great schooling exercise. It wasn't the best film. Sorry about that, guys. But I still wanted to put it in the vlog because it's one that really does make the horse feel so elevated and expressive in their movement. But it also really highlights if your horse is supple. And in this instance, that horse definitely wasn't supple. Even though it's competed to a high level, you could really feel like he was really struggling with the kind of curving line of that kind of very shallow S that we were doing with the poles. So very good exercise to do. Well worth doing quite regularly, but I did do the best job of filming, so sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to go because my arm is starting to kill. And I'm just going to enjoy the fields with my old chum here. And I will see you guys, I don't know, next week. I really need to make a plan. I keep saying I'm going to do it and then I don't. You'll see me again at some point.